As a child, my very first architectural design was reimagining a Rivendell themed hotel. And after watching the third season of the White Lotus, I had the idea to create an elven style intro. Something that imagines what such a hotel might feel like if Rivendell was real. Now, while this might sound a bit absurd, there's actually a surprising amount of historical precedent for this kind of tourism using fantasy designs. Something I've recently studied in a PhD application. Rivendell, as it turns out, shares striking similarities with dragestil, a Norwegian architectural style developed at the end of the 19th century. Dragestil evolved from a Swiss chalet style, a romantic and highly ornate timber design, but in Norway it took on a unique identity. It was inspired by the rediscovery of Viking ships and stave churches, and the unique coiling ornaments that was carved into the timber. In my PhD work, I argue that this style was primarily used for hotels and sanatoriums. Essentially, it was designed for a European tourist class. At the time, Norway was emerging as a tourist destination, exoticized for its untamed nature and Viking sagas. Visitors such as Kaiser Wilhelm, who cruised the coast every summer for 2 decades. For him, Norway represented a quintessential Germanic past that was the key for the nation building of the newly formed German Empire. He even commissioned the famed Dragestil architect Holm Hansen Munthe to design a lodge in Germany and brought home a stave church. Other influential visitors included Richard Wagner and William Morris, both steeped in Norse literature, especially the Volsung saga, and their work would later greatly influence Tolkien. So in short, my thesis is this. Dragestil was a fantasy style, an immersive architectural dream, crafted to evoke the North as a place of myth and tourists. My imagined hotel would be modeled on Voksenkollen Sanatorium, a majestic building that tragically burned down in 1990. The composer Edvard Grieg nicknamed it the Soria Moria Hotel, referencing the mythical castle from Norwegian folklore. Tolkien fans might recognize the name from the Mines of Moria. Voksenkollen was a sanatorium, a place for healing and convalescence. That aligns beautifully with Rivendell, where Frodo is brought to recover after being wounded by the Witch King. Such a project would require an immense amount of crafts. It would be expensive. But it could be seen as an investment, as a way to revitalize Norwegian building traditions, many of which still thrive in communities today, like the crowd-funded Stave Church project or the Viking ship reconstructions in Tønsberg. And perhaps, with the right support, we might once see a Rivendell rise amongst the Norwegian fjords. What do you think? Would you go and visit such a hotel? And as always, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.